The American exodus, packing up and heading out, America, land of the free, home of the brave, and increasingly the departure gate for a growing number of its citizens. That's right, folks, Americans are leaving. Not just for a quick European jaunt, but for good. They're trading apple pie for pastel de nata, baseball for, well, probably still baseball, but you get the idea. So, what's driving this mass exodus? Why are people ditching the red, white, and blue for pastures new? Well, grab a Budweiser, settle in because things are about to get real. Uncomfortable. Because the truth is, America, your beacon of hope is looking a little dimmer these days. From escalating violence to the crippling cost of living, many are finding the American dream more like a nightmare. And let's be honest, who wants to live in a nightmare? Especially when there are perfectly lovely and significantly safer countries out there offering a better quality of life. Stick around because we're about to break down exactly why more and more Americans are saying see you later to the good old US of A. Spoiler alert, it's not just about cheaper healthcare. Streets paved with fear violence in the US America, you have a violence problem. The rise in violence across the US has left many citizens feeling unsafe. With the current open borders policy, thousands are entering the country each day, and while many are decent people seeking a better life, criminal organizations are also taking advantage. For instance, Tren de Aragua, a Venezuelan criminal gang, has spread terror in sanctuary cities like New York and Montana. These groups are exploiting the system of sanctuary cities, terrorizing locals, taking over buildings, houses, keeping hostages neighborhoods, and driving people to reconsider their future in America. According to recent reports, they are heavily involved in extortion, human trafficking, and other violent activities right in the heart of major U.S. cities. The streets of New York, once a symbol of freedom and opportunity, are now plagued with rising crime rates. Who's responsible for this? Leave it in the comments. Some argue it's the policies that prioritize leniency over security, leaving communities vulnerable. People are increasingly asking, how long can we put up with this before looking for a safer, more stable place to live? Mass shootings are so commonplace they barely make the news anymore. Rising crime rates and heated gun control debates, it's enough to make anyone want to invest in a suit of armor. The US has a significantly higher rate of gun violence than other developed nations. For many Americans, the fear of violence is very real. Schools out forever, the shadow of school shootings. Remember the good old days when the biggest threat at school was getting detention for chewing gum? Pepperidge Farm remembers. These days, the fear is far more sinister. It's the chilling reality that sending your child to school could be the last time you see them alive. School shootings, once a horrifying anomaly, have become a terrifyingly regular occurrence in America. Each tragedy reignites the debate about gun control, mental health, and the safety of our children. But while politicians argue, parents are left with an impossible choice. Risk their child's safety or uproot their lives and start over somewhere else. And let's be clear, this isn't just about the actual shootings, it's about the constant fear and anxiety that permeates everyday life. The lockdown drills, the security checkpoints, the unspoken dread that hangs heavy in the air. Imagine living with that every single day. Imagine explaining to your child why they have to practice hiding from a gunman. Now imagine a life where that fear doesn't exist. It's no wonder families are choosing peace of mind over the land of the free. A is for Apple, B is for brainwashing, education under fire, the cornerstone of a well-functioning society, except when it's a political battleground. School indoctrination is a contentious issue. Critical thinking is essential, but there's a fine line. From debates over critical race theory to banning books, the education system faces an identity crisis. Parents are caught in the crossfire, worried about their children's education. The battle over education is so heated some families are opting out, homeschooling, or choosing private schools. Section 5. The price of paradise. Can you afford to live here? Let's talk about money, honey, or rather, the lack thereof. Because let's be real, living in America is expensive, like, really expensive. We're talking about a country where the cost of housing, healthcare, and education is enough to make your eyes water. And don't even get me started on the price of a decent cup of coffee. It's highway robbery, I tell you. Now, I understand that every country has its own economic challenges, but the fact is, the cost of living in the US has become increasingly unsustainable for many Americans. Wages are stagnant, inflation is soaring, and the American dream of owning a home is feeling more and more like a pipe dream. So, what's a cash-strapped American to do? Well, for some, the answer is simple. Find a place where their money goes further, a place where they can actually afford to live, not just survive. And guess what? There are plenty of countries out there that fit the bill. Section 6. Beyond the dollar quality of life comparisons. Now I know what you're thinking, but John, you can't put a price tag on freedom. America is still the greatest country in the world. And you know what? You're entitled to your opinion, but while you're busy waving the stars and stripes, consider this. What good is freedom if you can't afford to see a doctor when you're sick? What good is the pursuit of happiness if you're working 3 jobs just to keep a roof over your head? The truth is, quality of life is about more than just money. It's about having access to affordable healthcare, a good education system, and a social safety net that catches you when you fall. It's about feeling safe in your community, having a healthy work-life balance, and, not having to worry about going bankrupt if you get hit by a bus. And here's the kicker. Many other developed countries are kicking America's butt in these areas. They offer universal healthcare, affordable childcare, and generous parental leave policies. They prioritize work-life balance, invest in public transportation, and generally make it easier for people to, live their best lives. Section 7. Trading Stars and Stripes, popular destinations for expats. So, where are all these disillusioned Americans going? Well, they're not exactly flocking to North Korea, are they? No, they're choosing countries that offer a better quality of life, stronger social safety nets, and yes, often a lower cost of living. We're talking about places like Canada, with its universal healthcare and friendly reputation, or Portugal, with its beautiful beaches, delicious food, and surprisingly affordable lifestyle. And let's not forget about Latin America, places like Mexico, Dominican Republic, Colombia, Costa Rica, which offers a lower cost of living, a vibrant culture, and fiesta, rum and tequila. These countries and others like them are attracting Americans of all ages and backgrounds, from young professionals seeking adventure to retirees looking for a more relaxed pace of life. The expat community is growing rapidly, and it's not hard to see why. These countries offer a tempting alternative to the challenges facing Americans back home. They represent a chance at a fresh start, a new beginning, and maybe even a little bit of peace of mind. Section 8. The price of freedom challenges faced by American expats. Now, before you go selling all your belongings and hopping on the next flight to Lisbon, let's be realistic. Moving to another country is a big decision. It's not all sunshine and roses, and there will be challenges along the way. First and foremost, there's the language barrier. Sure, you can get by with broken Spanish or gestures in a pinch, but truly integrating into a new culture requires learning the language. And let's be honest, not all of us are linguistic geniuses. Then there's the paperwork. Oh, the paperwork! Visas, residency permits, tax forms. It's enough to make your head spin. And don't even get me started on the bureaucracy. Let's just say that dealing with government agencies in another country can be a special kind of adventure. And of course, there's the emotional toll. Leaving behind your family, friends, and everything you've ever known is never easy. It can be lonely and isolating at times, and it takes a special kind of person to thrive in a new environment. But for many American expats, the challenges are outweighed by the rewards. They're finding a sense of community, a slower pace of life, and a renewed appreciation for the simple things. Section 9. Can America be saved? A nation at a crossroads. So, we've talked about the problems, the solutions, and the challenges. But the big question remains, can America be saved? Can the land of opportunity reclaim its title as a beacon of hope and prosperity? The answer, my friends, is complicated. It requires a willingness to acknowledge the problems, a commitment to finding solutions, and a whole lot of compromise. It means addressing the issues of gun violence, income inequality, and the rising cost of living. It means investing in education, healthcare, and infrastructure. It means listening to the concerns of all Americans, not just the wealthy and powerful. It means rejecting the politics of division and embracing a spirit of unity and cooperation. In short, it means remembering what it means to be an American. The path forward won't be easy. It will require difficult conversations, tough choices, and a willingness to put the needs of the many above the wants of the few. But if America is to remain a land of opportunity for all, it's a path we must take. Section 10. What about your American dream? A time for reflection. So, there you have it. The American dream is changing. For some, it's fading. For others, it's being redefined. But one thing is clear. The decision of whether to stay or go is a deeply personal one. There's no right or wrong answer. But it's a conversation we need to be having. We need to ask ourselves what kind of country we want to live in, what values we want to prioritize, and what sacrifices we're willing to make. The future of America is not predetermined. It's being written every day by the choices we make. So, what will you choose? Will you stay and fight for the America you believe in, or will you seek your fortune elsewhere? The choice, my friends, is yours.